Hello everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. So today we are doing one of my favorite things. We are reacting to another classic Judy D video. Judy D makes these incredible videos where she goes into salons that have very poor reviews and she has her makeup done, and they are very exciting. I love these videos because I feel like every salon has kind of like grabbed onto like this makeup, thing that's happening, and this, everyone's love for makeup at the moment. And I just chose some random stuff and was like, you do makeup? And I'm like, yeah, fine. And it's a really good look at what makes a professional and what makes somebody just kind of like doing it for the sake of it. So just before we get into that today, if this is your first time here, hi, my name is Robert. I'm a professional makeup artist here on YouTube and also in real life. It's my goal to help you become a pro yourself, or just someone who's really good at makeup. So if that sounds like something you are interested in, then do please consider subscribing. Okay, and like I always say, and these videos very much prove it, creativity and individuality have no rules, but makeup artistry most definitely has a theory. Okay, let's take a look. I'm here to interrupt myself to say a huge thank you to today's sponsor, Skillshare. Now, I know you're very familiar with Skillshare by now, but for those of you who aren't, Skillshare are an online community with thousands of classes that you can take, packed with loads of information from professionals, people who are very skilled in their talents, their jobs, and sharing all that information with you. Now, I've been on like an education journey with Skillshare. I've learned so many different things from them. Listen, this is going to make me feel super old, but I feel like I know what I'm doing with YouTube. I know what I'm doing with all my other social media platforms. TikTok is still a very new platform for me. So I feel like, when your parents used to get like books on like how to use a computer. So I've been taking some classes on TikTok from someone called Erin McGough, and it goes from the basics of TikTok, like how to create an account, things like that, how to make one, how to edit properly, and even a content and posting strategy. So these have been super helpful. They're really nice, like bite-sized classes as well. So super easy to take, super quick. You can do it really in any time you have, to be honest with you. But it's just great to have those staple basics because I'm kind of guessing my way through that platform at the moment. And this is what I've said before, there is something for everyone on Skillshare, and this is why I love it. So if you're interested in learning something new, or just kind of educating yourself on something as simple as TikTok, then Skillshare will be incredible for you. So for the first 1,000 people to use the link down below in my description box, will get a free month trial of Skillshare. Thank you so much again, Skillshare, for sponsoring this video. Now back to me. And today we're gonna watch this makeup artist ripped me off, Linda's. Okay, let's go.
Linda's, we're off to a good start when my head is placed at a freaking 2-story high towel rack. Regardless, this makeup artist, all he needed was one magic touch, Linda's. And he knew exactly what he needed to do, and off he went. Off he went to get his kit, and while he was getting his kit, Linda's, I struggled. So you're wondering, what can I get for $80? Tape. You get taped.
Okay, so the deal with tape, right? Tape is absolutely fine to use. I mean, it's probably best you didn't, but first of all, that's just like regular tape. A surgical tape would be better, something like this, maybe, that doesn't hurt the skin so much. If you do have to use regular tape, right, this is quite like, it's not too sticky, but if you have to use regular tape on someone's eyes, I always like to, on a clean hand or a clean surface, sanitize a hand and then get the tape and just peel it off like once or twice. Let that tape lose some of its stickiness, because all you really want it for is a barrier, right? So when it comes to peeling it off, it's just really gentle. You don't get that rip that I'm sure she's gonna get any second now. Also, he's making her look up and down to line up exactly with that waterline. I would actually move it down just a little bit. That way you can connect this area of makeup into the bottom here, and you get more of a consistent, seamless look with your eye makeup.
So $80 for Ecuador is definitely not affordable, and I
Those brushes are dirty. Those are unclean brushes. Hopefully he's going to clean them.
have been to another salon actually in Dubai where I was charged the equivalent of $80 in dirhams, and this was the makeup. To be fair, I'm sure I was being ripped off. It was clear even later in the makeup, you'll see he just kept trying to upsell it. He just kept trying to add like extra things. Listen, Linda, I'm a very peaceful soul. If someone tells me like this is how much it's gonna cost, I'm just gonna go with it. You know, I'm not gonna sit there and bargain. I'm not gonna sit there and argue. No. You wanna rip me off? Fine. So yeah, I'm probably the easiest customer to rip off. I put up no fights, and I also gave him like full freedom over my makeup. It was really up to him.
Just looking right here, one thing I like and one thing I don't like about what the artist is doing right now, the thing I don't like is the hand on the head. Nothing horrifically wrong with it. It's just very uncomfortable for the client. And this man is selling a service, so client's comfortability, how comfortable the client is, should be a priority. The hand on the head, do something else with your other hand. On your hip, hold another brush. So you can do this. You know, just do something else do something else with your hand. One thing I do like that he's doing, although it isn't giving very good results, is how he's using his little finger as a pivot and to steady the actions of his brush, of his movement, whatever. Okay.
Which I guess gave him the freedom to also put the price of his choice, let's say. Oh, he also turned me ginger. I'm ginger now.
I was gonna say that is a very red brow. We look at Judy's hair, it is like this almost like colder brown. It's not red, there's no warmth in there, so it's very wrong in terms of color. It's very blocky. I don't like it.
I kind of dig it, actually. I like it. I think it suits me. That's it. That's my new, that's the new me.
That man is leaving the hand like red marks on her face where he's gripping her head. Let go off her head. Do not touch it. Imagine, right, you're doing a bride and you're working alongside the hair artist, hairstylist, and they've just done the bride's hair, the fringe, and you're just like, don't do it. Don't do it. Also, okay, so what are we doing here? Are we sculpting out the brow or highlighting around the brow? Because his view is a dark shade under the brow and a dark shade above the brow. So we're not highlighting because it's darker. We're sculpting, which should really be your skin tone if you don't want it to highlight. So is this the shade we're going to use for her whole face? I don't know. It probably is, knowing her videos.
Okay, let's go with turquesa.
He is cleaning a brush on her shoulder with a tissue. Listen, fine if you're doing it on yourself. If you're doing it on a client, who else has had that brush in their face, near their mouth, near their eyes, near all the moist parts of their face? And now you're going to use it without sanitize. You can get brush cleaners that sanitize your brush and dry within seconds. There's no need. And if you have no means to sanitize your brush or wash them, then you shouldn't be doing it. You can just shampoo. You're in a salon, grab a tiny bit of shampoo and let it dry overnight, you know? Last minute, like desperation, dry it with a hairdryer. Never do that. But if you're desperate, this could be a clean brush. There is no need in a salon to be using dirty brushes on clients. You know what? And I just have to say, it's not even the poor artistry in these videos, it's the hygiene and the carelessness that really kind of like... That blends nice, right? That's a nice blend. It's a nice shape. Beautiful. Imagine if that was on a tone on her lid that was actually her skin tone. It would look really, really nice. You know what? Stop there. Maybe darken the outside corner, add a bit of shine onto the... You're good.
Linda's that brush, it was so freaking dirty. He spent more time cleaning that brush than using it on my face. It's just pink. It's just pink. And it kept going. And you think he stops? No. It keeps going. He keeps cleaning it. He keeps using it. So Linda's, when it came to my eyes, it's actually looking good. Like, the only questionable part of this makeup, I feel, until now is just his color choices. I mean, we have these reddish, rusty eyebrows, and then green on my eyes, and now he wants to put blue or turquoise. And oh my god, the lips, I'm not even gonna talk.
This is his good eye, the eye he's doing now. I always find that makeup artists, when you're teaching them or teaching someone makeup, there's a good eye and there's a bad eye. And what he's doing here is starting with his bad eye and then doing his good eye, which is great to do because you can match your good eye to your bad side. But what he's not doing is matching it up, so the shapes are slightly off. So we're having this really nice eye, he isn't blending terribly, you know, like it's fine, it's okay.
Talk about those, you're gonna see in a minute, but you know, his color choices, they were goofy, you know, they were cute, they were interesting. It just gave me Gypsy Bride vibes. But apart from that, I feel like the actual application wasn't too bad, as in the actual makeup. Yeah, like, look at my eyes, they don't look bad.
That blend is really, really nice and gradual. One thing I would suggest though is he watches his blend on the inside corner, because if the height in the blend is equal the whole way across. And if we're doing this look, if he wanted to put tape there and bring it upwards, you're rounding off the eye. If he tucked the color in and stopped around here and really tucked that color into the socket, it would make that sharpness, that cat eye shape, even more defined. Whereas now he's rounding it off. So we have this like round shape, whereas it should be more like this, whereas he's making it like this, if that makes sense.
Softer with my eyes. I mean, I wish he blended, you know,
like stop blending now, you're making it patchy.
Calmly. Without all the aggression, you know? Also, I think I'm developing dents in my forehead. I also really appreciate how he went with a darker shade of green and gave my eye some sort of depth. He shaped it really nicely. Wow. So Linda's,
Nice. Leave it now. Or bring that darker blue now into the corner here, so we have this really nice continual shape. Okay, that looks nice, right? Stop. Color on a lid. Woo! We're done.
I'm starting to see the worth of the $80 now. He also cut my crease very nicely. My eyes, I actually like my eyes. And I think green, it's a pretty dangerous color to play with, but it actually brings out my eyes nicely, so I like it.
So let me get to... Okay, let's take a look at the shape of this cut crease, right? Again, tape here, assuming we want it lifted and cut. The shape of this cut crease is going out this way, because you can see that flesh goes all the way to here. So what ideally we want to do is knock off that flesh tone and do like cheese wedge that green shade that you've used through the socket, not the deeper one, the lighter one. So then the cut crease is doing this, you know what I mean? Rather than this, because it's arguing with the shape of your eye, if that makes sense. You see, that was a good shot. The cut crease looks like it's going downwards now because it stops at the top and carries on, and the rest of the eye is going up this way. If we were to then just knock off some of that cut crease diagonally, we'll carry on that lifted shape. Oh, you know what? I wish he didn't put that green on the lid. I wish he kept it like neutral because that was looking really, really nice. The cut crease could have been in neutral and a bit more green on the side. Yeah. Clean that fucking line. Don't use those liners directly on people's face. Use them yourself. Use a liquid or a gel that you can dispense from the tub itself with a spatula and use a separate brush. Unhygienic. It's a very good tidy line though. It's a really nice tidy line. That's a weird choice to bring it in, but it could look quite cute. This is kind of frustrating because this person's actually quite good. There's just little things there that aren't right. Hygiene is the utmost importance, and color and tone he's not quite understanding when it comes to the brows and the way he's sculpted it out. Maybe he doesn't have a full kit, but also then why are you selling services without a full kit? Invest and then, you know. And by full kit, I don't mean like every single shade of foundation. You can do a kit, have 8 shades of foundation, a cheap foundation, and mix, you know. But it's frustrating to see because there's some really nice detailing in there, like the cut crease, like the liner, like the blending that haven't quite hit it because of tiny little mistakes that come through practice. So maybe if he practiced and didn't charge for it, or charged less and called himself a junior. So. Okay, that is a fake MAC palette because they've never sold that palette, and I have seen that palette before in a market in Greece. Now, cheap makeup isn't dangerous. Fake makeup is, because it's made from crap. There can be stuff in there that can be really harmful to your skin. Don't buy fake makeup, fake brands. It looks cheaper than cheaper makeup. Cheaper makeup you can dispense into palettes. You can buy a drugstore palette, put it in a Z palette, and nobody will even know, a magnetic palette. If you buy fake makeup, it looks worse than cheaper makeup.
So Lindas, I would say this is the best this makeup is ever gonna look. So enjoy it, enjoy me, enjoy this beautiful green eye and these beautiful ginger eyebrows, because that's it. From now, it's downhill, Lindas. The next thing he does is he basically removes the tape. And let me tell you, it wasn't the most pleasant experience. I mean,
if it is stuck like that, anything around the eyes where you're removing, even if you're removing makeup on a client, go inwards. He should be peeling that tape downwards like this because you're not going to stretch. And even if you're taking off makeup, you kind of go in like this first, so you're not stretching the eye. That's going to rip.
putting the tape wasn't either, so imagine removing.
And then look where he's put that tape. You know how earlier I mentioned moving it down so the top makeup can be consistent with the bottom, so you get almost like this line in. He's put it too high, so now we have this really extremely obvious gap. What I would do now is fill in that gap there with a black liquid liner to meet the bottom waterline to fix that shape.
It.
Oh. Is that a dry tissue? Let me show you something. Mascara. Bit of moisturizer on moisturizer or primer. And bear in mind he hasn't done her foundation yet. Gone. It's as simple as that. That's all you have to do. Where's my foundation brush? You don't have to be, you know, ripping at the skin or rubbing it with a dry tissue. That's why I personally like to do eyes and then skin second, because you can use whatever you prep the skin with to then remove the makeup and then blot away any excess of that product with a tissue.
But then he decides to make sure the tape was useless by putting eyeshadow in my lower lash line, the width of a whale. Like the distance between my eye and the end of that line.
Okay. Join that up to where the liner ends, and then put the liner on. Join the liner up. Done.
Is a 9-hour flight.
What's this?
Lindas. I don't get why it's.
Okay. Now there is. I always say this. You can feel when the makeup artist is panicking. And they just do some random fucking shit. And they keep doing stuff to make it better. This isn't going to make it better. All you had to do was join that black liner to the bottom, and that's it. Maybe deepen, because now that the shade under the eye just looks straight up green, mimic what you did through the socket here on the bottom. The lighter green first, that deeper bluey green in like close to the lash line, blend, and you're all good. Okay, let's try and fix. I just noticed that tissue is tucked into her clothes. How uncomfortable. Oh, my bum. Okay, how we could fix this now, right, is just get concealer and cut into that so we have a nice point, and then it might look slightly like, you know, edgy.
But he asked the lady in the back.
Gonna charge her extra, but I haven't discussed it with her. I feel like gems as well is something you really have to like be like, listen, I'm gonna put gems on your face. Is that okay? Are you allergic to glue, to lash glue, or whatever adhesive you're using? Would be a good question. Is he using hair glue to stick those on? I know people use hair glue for lashes and stuff like that, but that's a lot. It's very sensitive around the eyes, especially right tucked into there as well.
To be fair, even though the lady in the back did suggest, quite frankly, that I should be charged for these gems and these stones, even though I never asked for them.
Use a disposable mascara wand. That's just, come on now.
I wasn't, so yeah, it was just $80. There was nothing extra. I just thought I had to clarify that.
Wait. So are we gonna set? We're gonna set this. We're not gonna blend it in. So he's gonna set that shape in without blending it. Is this meant to be her concealer? Is this meant to be highlighting her face? Are we gonna use something even darker around the face? That's gonna look cakey as fuck. If he's gonna watch. I'm so confused. So his put powder on his thing and now he's blending it around with the powder on the puff. This texture is gonna be like porridge. I knew it. I fucking knew it. If you drop a product, clean it. There could be dog shit on the ground from when someone stepped in it, and now there's poo particles everywhere. No matter how much you bring that product onto the neck, it's not going to help it look like it's her shade. It's not going to help. I did like the way he was steadying himself with a lip liner with a little finger. That's a good one. Okay. Not using a disposable lip wand. You would take that, right, roll it out onto a palette, and then you would take a lip brush or whatever you use for lips. I like to use angle brushes for lips because you can literally just be like, beep, boop, and then get all these like nice perfect lines. It's in your mouth. Did none of these makeup artists live through the same pandemic we all did? To think, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't be putting the same wand into people's mouths. the texture of that foundation could have been saved. You know what? The eye makeup blend isn't that bad. Imagine if it just stopped where those gems were and that was it. You would be happy with that, right? It's fine. Maybe a bit of shimmer or something on the lid, just there, just to add a bit more depth, a little bit more dimension to that look. The brow was, of course, completely the wrong shade. We could have got a lot smoother finish with a foundation. You notice if we weren't like rubbing it around, if we concentrated on blending it a little bit more and not mixing it with powder, you would notice a lot in these videos that happens a lot. They just violently rub it around the face and they just trying to get the product on rather than making it look nice. If we look at that contour as well, the contour actually blending into the blush, which I assume is blush, isn't the worst. However, the contour is way too harsh. It needs to be blended out a little bit. Imagine if you just use a tiny bit and then blended that out where it needed to be, rather than drawing the whole thing on the face and tapping it in. We would have got a much more natural kind of sculpted look from that. Okay, well, I would love to know what you think of this whole look. It is definitely, there were some good bits and there were some bad bits. And these are the kind of people where I just want to get in there and be like, listen, let's talk, let's spend a day together and we can fix this. You know, we can do this. It's not the worst, but also, of course, it's not the best. There were some like hygiene emergency situations in that video that were a little bit troubling. Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining me. Do go and check out this whole video and all of Judy's other videos below. I'll link those in the description box for you. Thank you so much for joining me. Do consider subscribing and give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye.